Here we are again, folks, for another lunch and learn experience in the 9-day transformation challenge focused on family life and business life becoming mastered. Now, this is 9 days of challenge and transformation, and the truth is, this is the end. Today is the last day, and this experience is the last experience. It has been truly a challenge, and a challenge in the sense that it's been intentional, and there's been an expectation for transformation. And I cannot deny challenge, certainly, and I also cannot deny transformation. I've been transformed by every conversation I have had, being a part of every experience, being encouraged, being um, praised, provided feedback, so many different elements. More than anything, this challenge challenged me to do something I had never done but knew was possible to do, and there was nothing going to stop it from happening. So much and so, there are so many opportunities that have opened for me. And I'm not here to talk about Leo, by the way. I'm just sharing some perspective and some transparency, if you will. There's a number of things that have opened for me. Actually, now part of a TV segment of a media company, and that's something that's never happened for me. Something I've thought about. I've always been the guy kind of on this side of the screen, or on the other side of the screen, like where you are. And saying, man, if I was sitting over there, I'd have some things to say. You probably have too. And that opportunity has come as a result of this 9-day transformation challenge. See, what you got to understand is when you challenge yourself to do something that you know is possible, that's going to stretch you, that's going to unleash and access potential that has been lying dormant, that you know exists. What happens is you position yourself to be transformed and catapulted onto a trajectory of abundant and exceptional value. And that's nothing short of the truth for family life and business life. We've started this and we've talked about it even before the promotion, during the promotion of this particular transformation challenge, that family life and business life are meant to be teammates, not opponents. And that perspective has begun to transform many. Specifically, if you followed any of the past content, or if you've already viewed it on demand, or you were part of the live, you heard Larry Rollerson talk about how on day one of this 9-day transformation challenge, he heard that work-life balance doesn't work. It's not achievable. It's impossible. He heard why. And then, watch this. He connected it to that perspective of family life and business life are meant to be teammates and not opponents. And it changed the game for him. He brought his ego down, raised his humility, and in doing so, raised his impactability, such that he got on the phone with his two sons and shared with them, your mother and I share with you something that is wrong, but I'm about to tell you the truth. And it's going to transform your family life and business life forever. That's the power of this 9-day transformation challenge. Speaking about Larry, I have this thing where I try to say a few things all at once and it just comes out like a stutter. Speaking of Larry, I was going to say, in saying Larry's perspective, that's a great segue into mentioning our valued partner for this entire 9-day transformation challenge, which is Awareness elevation, they are specialists in you really having awareness elevation, meaning having the elevation of your awareness of yourself and doing so at the level of high performance. And they have committed to ensuring that people who join our community, the Family Business Life Mastery community, will be in a position to access their Champion Leadership Academy experience as well. So you guys joined the community. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end of this segment, but want to certainly appreciate Awareness Elevation for everything they've done behind the scene, on the front side, participating in experiences and really adding a lot of value in this challenge, circumstance, and opportunity. So let's get into this content. I want to do as I've been doing it, which is to reiterate our focus on the trilogy of transformation, which is the focus on what causes family life crashing and burning while business life is thriving and vibing perceptively. What can destroy the cause of family life crashing and burning while business life is thriving and vibing. And once you destroy the cause, what keys you're able to access, make use of in order to begin to be on the trajectory in the pursuit of family business life mastery, the pursuit of seeing family life and business life work as teammates in tandem and not as opponents in adverse circumstance. You see, let me share this real briefly. Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite quotes from him, says, "Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage." One of the things you got to understand is believing that work-life balance is something worth pursuing or that it's even achievable is an adversity. It is not great to be in a position where you're pursuing something, never going to get different results, which is insanity. That right there is frustrating. And I can see why so many people are frustrated about work-life balance because it's just not achievable. It's not possible. It made me think about Jim Rohn. He would say, it's not possible. It's just not possible. It's not. And so that's very frustrating. However, in every adversity, there is the seed of an equivalent advantage, which means if you are able to look past the adversity and into the context of the adversity, you will find a seed. I like to think about that statement and quote from the perspective of a fruit. And I always like to use the peach one because I just always have a vivid picture of it in my mind. When you get to that peach is nice and succulent. It's firm, especially the one you get ready to eat. You can see like the juiciness about it and all that good stuff. And you eat it and, eat through that flesh, the juiciness and the moisture and stuff on your beard if you're a man and on your lips if you're a woman, all that kind of stuff, right? Watch this. You get to the center of it and you got the core, which is the seed. Now watch this. That fruit in and of itself, the outer surface, is a temporary thing. That's adversity. It's temporary. But you got to get through it in order to get to the thing that's on the inside of it that has the greatest ability to produce value. Here's what you got to understand. The seed inside of the peach is of greater value than the outer surface, the flesh of the peach itself. And that's the same thing with adversity. The adversity is legitimate, but it is not of value in the same way that the seed of equivalent advantage that's on the inside is. So if you've been pursuing work-life balance, don't beat yourself down. Just get the right perspective. Debunk and destroy that misleading belief with the accurate belief, which is understand that you can't achieve balance, but you can achieve flow. And so put it in alignment and put it on a continuity structure and position yourself to get some extreme value. You hear me now? So You've been experiencing adversity if you have believed work-life balance. If you've said it, if you believe you've achieved it, you are in an adverse situation. But I'm here to get you out of it. Now, with that, we want to talk about undeniable confidence today. Now, we've talked about, again, the three misleading beliefs, which is believing that work life balance is possible, then believing that out of family life and business life, one is more important than the other, then believing that there's no relationship between family life and business life. We've debunked that and destroyed those misleading beliefs with the accurate beliefs of believing that flow is achievable, believing that we can achieve flow between family life and business life, believing that we can make fuel between family life and business life, and believing that we can create the appropriate focus between family life and business life as they are interdependent, not independent or dependent. Then we came to the place where we begin to deal with the fact that when you get to that experience of now being able to access and leverage mastery of family life and business life, you access that with the master keys. And the first one is treasure. You treasure principles, treasure the principles in your heart, treasure putting principles in your subconscious, treasure being able to access principles that can help you to achieve the flow you know is possible, help you to make the fuel you know is possible, and help you to create the flow that you know is possible. You need those principles. They need to be your treasure, and you need to have them in the place where a treasure belongs, and the treasure belongs in your subconscious, in your heart. That's the thought storage that influences what it is you think, believe, and feel. Then we talked about translate. In other words, adapt the language. What language? The language of achievement in business. We need to translate it from business to family, because the language there is able to produce, the language that's achieving oriented there is able to produce value over there in family life. And when you begin to make use of it, you start to see that it actually came out of the family life dynamic in the first place. It's so interesting. But ultimately, where you're achieving over here in business life and getting results, getting outcomes, you know how to win. Well, guess what? Translate those same things to the way that they're applicable on the other side. Now, here's what happens. This is the power key right here. When you begin to treasure, translate, then you get the ability to do what this next, listen to me carefully, this next master key focuses on. Master key number 3. Watch what it is. Trust. Now, a lot of times we think about trust from the immaterial standpoint of, expressing trust to others, that we believe on them and, have confidence in them. And that's true. But this is less about what we exert toward others and more so what it is that we embody. When you trust or exercise the utilization of this master key trust, what you're really accessing is undeniable confidence. Let me explain. Undeniable confidence is confidence ultimately that cannot be denied. But the power of confidence that can't be denied speaks to the fact that what caused the confidence to come into play is what makes the confidence undeniable. See, the confidence key, which is this third master key, which is trust. This confidence key is one that is not dependent on how you feel. It doesn't depend on your experience. It's validated by your experience, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But it comes from the fact that what's accurate as well as predictably productive all the time has been accessed and leveraged, treasured, And the translation of that between both environments where they're able to fuel one another, flow into and out of one another, and make sure there's interdependence, meaning the reason we language adapt is because we need to know that the winning in both is designed to be like a cheerleader and a support to each other. And when you have the first two keys operating, treasure of principles, predictably productive all the time principles, and the translation of those predictably productive all the time principles that are happening over in business, we need to translate the very context of that as to how they apply to family life so we can get the same predictability and productiveness all the time. Then when you do that, guess what it produces for you, and you get to leverage and access undeniable confidence. You become confident in a way that is not based on how you feel. See, in work-life balance, you don't get to have that confidence because there is questionability of the whole idea and the phrase. The construction of it is poor. All of the dynamics of it are just destructive and demeaning in the context of our intellect, because we seek to pursue, we don't get results, and we keep doing it because people of leadership authority are saying we need to pursue it. And so we do it because of people who are in positions of influence and authority continue to say this is something to be pursued and necessary. But here's the thing, they don't even know, because if they knew, they wouldn't say it. Does Leo say you should pursue work-life balance? No, because he knows. See, that's the power of confidence. When you know something, guess what? It doesn't matter what everybody else knows. You know, there's a statement that I've heard from a number of people. And one of the ways to explain it can be in the words of Winston Churchill. I want to pull up this quote of his. He talked about the truth. And the truth is something that once you are certain about the truth, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Why? Because you know what you know, because it is what it is without you knowing it. And because you have agreed with it, guess what? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's also because when you apply it, you put yourself in a position to where you develop this extended confidence because of the utilization of that which is predictably productive, which is truth. Now, watch this. I got to get this to you. He says, oh man, this is so beautiful. I love it. I had to pull it up because I don't want to butcher it up. It's not in here like it should be in the future. He said the truth is incontrovertible. Can't convert it. And it's incontrovertible. You can't controvert it. Malice may attack it. Ignorance may deride it. But in the end, there it is. You're not going to hear Leo say work-life balance. Why? I know the truth that it's not possible. Now, why would I tell anybody that it's possible when it's not possible? Right? Why would I do that? That makes no sense. But how many people are doing that? Here's why people tell you something that's not true, even though, okay, let me ask you differently. I confuse my own self. This is why people tell you something that's not true that they believe is true. It's because either one of two things, primarily. Either they know it's true, they know what's true, and they're trying to hide it from you. So they're actually being very heinous and deceptive. But in the other sense is that they really don't know what's true. So because this is what they know, they keep going with it. And I understand that, but that doesn't make it okay. It's not productive. Just like Larry Rollison said to his sons, he said, listen, I need y'all to have an open mind. I need you to hear me out. And the oldest son was like, "Oh, here goes dad." But they were very receptive of what he shared. Matter of fact, not just receptive, they were appreciative that he would come back, humble himself, and say, "I told you something wrong. I told you that something was possible that is never possible. And I need you to know here's what's actually possible." That is huge. And guess what? You, myself, and everybody else in this world can operate with that thought process. Now let's talk about something in regard to this balance thing. I was talking with Shane in the mastermind experience earlier today, and behind the stage, in the backstage area, the green room, we call it. I don't remember if he talked about this on camera, but we certainly talked about it behind the cameras. And he took a pen. Matter of fact, he took a pen and he said, "Joe, Kale, I'm gonna put it here, and we're gonna look at it from the standpoint of balance, right? Put it there, and it looks like balance, right?" And he said, "If you put something on that side, then guess what? You gotta go and try to come over here and put someone. It's like a back and forth thing." And when he said that, this picture emerged for me. When you're in the mode of balance, what happens is you always have to be trying to think about, okay, let me adjust here. Okay, let me adjust here. Like you're looking for when it tilts and you're like, okay, let me go over here. Here's why that happens. It's because I told you all this, and this is so absolutely fundamental. You cannot put equal amounts of energy, time, effort, resources into family life and business life at the same time. And in order to try to balance the two of them, you're going to always be trying to tip back and forth, and you'll frustrate yourself because your energy is on the trajectory of adjustment. It's not on the trajectory of being postured for mastery and focus, right? You can't put your energy completely into family life the way you need to, and you can't put your energy completely into business life as you're supposed to, because you're always having to adjust because of the dynamics of balance. Like the more you really challenge this idea of work-life balance, you'll start to see so many more of the perspectives that communicate why it's not possible. Now, don't get me wrong, you do need to be able to adapt. In other words, you do need to be able to, like we talked about in the context of translate, be able to, when you're over in family life, make sure that what's over in business life, that's achievement over in it, is being translated and utilized and adapted to that environment so that it can produce the same type of value, benefit, and fuel that will be able to flow out back into business life. That's different. Adjustments means that you're always looking to find yourself in a position to where it's like, oh, I'll go here, gotta go here. And guess what? That gets frustrating, it gets confusing, it gets disturbing. That's why you just got to get rid of balance. Put it on the continuity structure of alignment and position yourself to experience flow, achieve flow, right? And that's the only way you can receive confidence from the relational connection between family life and business life. It's the only way. It's the only way. So you've got to get out of this place of dealing with what is, one, insane, what is misleading, what is not incontrovertible, what is not productive for you or predictably productive for you all the time. Believe that family life and business life are meant to be teammates, and they have an interdependent relationship that is positioning them to fuel one another with their value and substance and be able to flow in and out of one another to continue to make sure that you're living at the highest performance level of life. That's what this is about. But you deal with balance, you're always trying to do this. You're just adjusting and twitching yourself all the time. Almost like you're doing the twist and shout. Okay, let me stop and get off of that. Now, what should we focus on? Now, watch this. We started on day one lunch and learn experience talking about measures. And here it is, we're ending with measure, test. See, one of the things about a test is that it's a form of proving. It's not. See, some people look at tests, which it is like this. Some people look at tests in the sense that it's designed to take you down and to expose weaknesses and just destroy you. Don't get me wrong, it is designed to expose weaknesses, but it's not for the purpose of destroying. How you respond to it will really determine if it is looked at from the standpoint of destroying, which is why that quote of every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage is so powerful, because if people look at adversity as it is trying to destroy them, then they will not look deeper into the adversity to see that there's an advantage that is buried within it. Man, we talked about this, I believe it was on yesterday, myself with Imani, Adria, in we did an impromptu conversation and we went live on that. And I brought up first thing, I said, there's a proverb, an old Israeli proverb that says, it is the glory of God to conceal a thing. And it is the glory of kings to search out a thing. In other words, here it is. What you got to understand is concealed within adversities or advantages or seeds of advantages that can produce so much abundance for us. But we have to be king-minded, understanding that when adversity comes, it is like the ground that we get to dig into and dig out the advantage that is concealed for our benefit. Yes. And that is why we have challenge, in order to be able to position us to access the things of greater value in the context of transformation. Now, test, watch this. So when you have the focus of family, business, life mastery, not work-life balance. Okay. See, work-life balance, you're on the trajectory of, insanity, and find yourself in a position to where what's happening is you're still just adjusting back and forth, back and forth. You're never able to really be settled so you can flow. But when you focus on family, business, life mastery, and understanding that family life and business life are meant to be teammates, not opponents, now you have a posture of comfort where you're on a trajectory of flow. And so your posture is one of focus. You see, create focus. Then your posture is one where your energy can be not only focused, but in it being focused can be fueling for yourself and for everything else around you, and can flow out into the other relationship, whether it's business life or family life. And what happens is, when you engage family life, business life on the continuity structure of alignment, you then have to exert energy toward them and within them. And as you do that, you're actually testing the predictably productive perspective and principle that is all the time valuable, and putting yourself in a position to where, watch this, you are able to determine if the value that it is actually the value that you know it is, where you get to get manifested results of what you know. And now you get to have this experience with what you know and not just know it. For example, I was talking with Shane and he made this statement to me. He said, Leo, said, we sit on a chair. And the reason we sit on a chair is because we got confidence in the chair. We got confidence in what the chair can do. We got confidence in the fact that the chair is going to hold us up. He said, but why do we have confidence in the chair holding us up? He said, because we test it. We sit in it. See, people have tried work-life balance, but they haven't yet began to try like they ought to and can family, business, life mastery. And if they try it, which means they sit in it, they debunk and destroy the reality of the misleading beliefs through accepting the accurate beliefs and then positioning themselves to access these three master keys. Guess what's going to happen? There's confidence in the master keys. There's confidence in the accurate beliefs, debunking and destroying the misleading beliefs. There's confidence there. But when you actually position yourself in the flow of family business life mastery, in the fuel source of family business life mastery, and in the focus of family business life mastery, and then begin to leverage the treasuring of the principles and the translating of the achievement principles, and then trust, the confidence, the trust that's already in family life and business life becomes now at work in you. It becomes a source of fuel for you because you've proven it just by sitting in it. All you got to do is get out of the seat of work-life balance and sit in the seat of family business life mastery and watch the trust that's already built into it. See, this is what I found out. I found out that predictably productive all the time is this trilogy of transformation. Predictably productive all the time is when you access the principles that produce family business life mastery, translate the achievement principles from business life that are causing us to thrive and vibe, and bring it over to family life, and we begin to thrive and vibe there. You start to see the confidence that was always built into the relationship between family life and business life from the very beginning, which is why we talked about reconciled relationship clarity. See, I'm going to end a little early today. I'm not going to take a whole hour or even 45 minutes. Simply because I think all has been said that needs to be said for this experience. I think you can go back and look at day 1 through 9 and see all of the value there. But let me end with this. 2 things. 1, it would be great if you could take this and run with it and transform your life just by what you've gotten. And guess what? You can. But I really believe it's not enough. Tell you why. Because how I came to these conclusions did not take place in the silos of my own experience. It was in the search of that which was predictably productive all the time. And I got myself in the environments, in the places, in the relationships, in the experiences, connected with the people, learning from the truths and the perspectives. And I mean, just really digging. And I saw the value of community. And there would be no benefit for us to have this content here for you and you not be able to go further and be in the position to not just experience leaps, but leverage and experience those quantum leaps by being in the place of connection with those who are growing on the same trajectory, but not necessarily experiencing the same things, and you can get value from them. That's powerful. The second thing is, I want to talk to you about a building called mastery. There's a lot of buildings in our life. There's only one building like mastery. You see, in the natural sense, we got buildings that have elevators, stairs, and, all sorts of things, ways to get up, and you can pretty much go in and out as you please in some regards. But the building called mastery is a different type of building. It's one that its elevator doesn't go down. It only goes up. And it only goes from one level to the next. There are no stairs in the building called mastery. And not only are there no stairs, when you come in, you don't just get to roam in the building called mastery. The building called mastery is very intentional in that once you access that front door and come in, It says, hey, here's an observation, here's a clue. You need to satisfy it. And that one being satisfied, that observation and clue being satisfied, it leads you to another one and another one. And it keeps leading you to whatever the designed observations and clues are for that level that are adequate to give you access to the next level. And once you satisfy the clues and observations of that level, then the last experience is released from those observations and clues to be in front of the elevator. There's a problem that you face after you satisfied all of these observations and clues. And you were actually experiencing as you were satisfying the observation and clues, but you didn't know it. And that is this. The problem is you're now on a level that is no longer adequate for you, no longer serves you, and you can be of no value to it, except for to communicate to others who are coming on this level of observation and clues. You're in front of the elevator, and the elevator is the only solution to your problem. Why? Because it is the thing that will move you in mastery or move you in the pursuit of mastery in the way that the observations and clues have. So you really didn't know you were achieving the mastery like you have been and like you will be, and that this was even a part of it because it's a different experience. See, when you get on the trajectory to achieve mastery, it's different. It challenges you differently. It hits you differently. It structures your progress differently. And you can't go to the stairs. You can't just get out of the observations. You can't say, oh, I see the stairs, let me go there, and you just stop. No, you got to finish everything. It's not going to let you go to the next level until you not only get to the elevator, but you have to get on the elevator. And the interesting thing about this elevator is that most people in the building called Mastery, they get on the elevator the first time and then they jump off because it's uncomfortable. It doesn't look like a normal elevator. It only has one button, but that button doesn't show up until the door closes. And they don't know that. And so they get off because it's like, I think this is where I'm supposed to be because it led me to it. And instead of trusting the process that had been having confidence in that which exists prior to them, because the confidence was going to confidently progress them, they doubt and jump off the elevator. But here's the interesting thing about the building called Mastery and its elevator. It will always reopen for you because it wants you, once it closes, it wants you to sit in the fact that this is not going to work. I can't go back. There's nothing else I can do. Can't go forward except for here. Can't go to the side. There's no stairs. It wants you to understand that the way you win is only in that which is predictably productive all the time based on the structure and strategy that Mastery has confidently established. See, here's the beautiful thing. The building called Mastery is a building you can trust. It's a building of confidence. Mastery in and of itself is confidence. Mastery exists without us being masters. Without us achieving it, it gives us confidence in and of itself. And so, once the person gets on that elevator, what happens is they feel uncomfortable, but there's this sense of relief because they are progressing. They are predictably producing. They get there to the next level. It opens up. And then they get excited because it's a different level, different opportunities, different observations, different clues. But they get excited because now they've had this confidence builder. They've tested mastery. And in doing so, they understand what it produces for them. So now they can treasure more. Now they can translate more and they can trust more. Here's the thing. You can have that when it comes to family life and business life. I have it and I'm continuously pursuing it. I'm getting on the elevators after I satisfy the observations and the clues because I got confidence. I got trust. And I'm using trust. I'm accessing trust. I'm translating. I'm treasuring. And I'm seeking what greater treasures I should have. Just like the person when they understand that this will help them to achieve more profitability. This will help them to achieve, greater passive opportunities. This will help them achieve greater opportunity in generational wealth and so many other things. They keep adding to it. Why? Because confidence, trust. They've tested. They've proven. So, the question I want to leave with you is, are you going to get in the building called mastery? Well, what does that look like? Well, it started with being a part of this live experience or a part of the on-demand experience. It's great. If you've walked through the different on-demands and you're now here after going through all of them, I can tell you right now, you're standing at the elevator. What's that elevator? Are you going to make an absolute commitment to be somebody who experienced mastery between family life and business life? And the way you answer that question is, if I'm going to get family life and business life mastery, then I should be in the environment that is continuously, confidently, predictably, productively, all the time, ensuring that I'm focusing on that which is going to give me family business life mastery. Then I need to be a part of that community. Are you a part of the family business life mastery community? Are you pursuing what it is that's really possible for you? Are you in the environment where you are being taken from level to level to level to level to level on the way to this high performance aspect of mastery? Well, you'll know when you actually go to this link, team30.com/FBLM community, and become a part of the family business life mastery community. You'll know that. And guess what else? I'll know that. And guess what else? Other people will know that. And guess what else? Your family life and your business life will know that. I want to appreciate you and everyone else for joining me for this 9-day transformation challenge. I want to appreciate you for being a part of my challenge, being a part of my transformation. Because as a result of it, there are many people who have been just destroyed and frustrated by the misleading beliefs, one in particular of work-life balance, whose lives will be challenged and put on the trajectory to experience transformation for family business life mastery. And guess what? That's not just about the people who live today. That's also about the people who are up and coming and who will be here after you and I are gone. Listen, y'all be great out there. You hear me now?